like to do is fight Dubois.
Okay.
And reschedule that fight because he is a champion.
So you win that and you get the title, his title.
I'll win that, I'll get his title.
And then you're on to Usyk, presumably.
And then I can fight Usyk.
And then you get his titles.
Yeah, undisputed. Probably be the biggest and the best achievement ever in boxing.
The Dubois thing it could be a rematch, but we don't know.
It could be a rematch, but Usyk and Dubois are looking at unifying the belts. Dubois has 1 title and Usyk has 3 titles. So unification does trump a mandatory. They've made me mandatory, which means I should fight Usyk next. But there's a lot of things happening in the background where they're trying to make this big fight against Dubois and Usyk.
Joseph Parker has had enough. He sees Daniel Dubois' so-called comeback as nothing more than smoke and mirrors, and he's ready to rip through the illusion. Last time, Dubois managed to slip away when their fight collapsed due to a mysterious illness, but Parker hasn't forgotten. Now he's coming with fire, and he's not letting Dubois off the hook. This isn't just about a belt anymore. This is personal. While Dubois has been handed opportunity after opportunity, Parker has had to fight tooth and nail for every inch. And now that he's back on the rise, he's not just aiming for victory, he's aiming for destruction. If Dubois dares to step into the ring again, there will be no excuses, no lucky breaks, just cold, calculated punishment. This fight won't be decided by judges or game plans. Parker's mission is to dismantle Dubois completely, to humiliate him and erase any illusion of dominance he's tried to create. When the final bell rings, Dubois won't just suffer a loss. He'll walk away stripped of his reputation.
Driven, and I'm motivated. My goal is to become champion of the world. My next goal is to become unified champion, undisputed. So, because I have these goals in mind, I'm doing everything I can now to prepare, but I don't even know what's next, but I love it. I don't know what's next, but I love it. I love my job.
His credibility and the hype that's followed him. The rematch? It's not just a fight. It's an execution. Joseph Parker's hunger is undeniable. He's not here just to compete. He's here to dominate. While others wait for the spotlight, Parker is grinding in silence, pushing through every grueling training session with one goal in mind: to become world champion again. But he's not stopping there. He's got his sights set on the ultimate prize, the unified, undisputed crown. And at the center of that mission, one name that keeps pushing him harder: Daniel Dubois. Parker sees Dubois' withdrawal from their previous bout as cowardice, and he's determined to make him pay for it. For Parker, this isn't just a comeback story, it's a warpath. Every rep, every round, every ounce of sweat is leading to the moment he settles the score.
I was 100% focused on that fight. I wanted to go out there and put him to sleep, so there was none of that. You know, we had the British Border Control. You can ask them and their doctor, and you know, get the proof from them. But that's what happened. I'm not making any of this up. You know, but I wanted to go out there and put him to sleep, and you know, shit happens.
When they finally meet, it won't be about proving a point. It'll be about delivering a message. Parker is the real deal. And Dubois? He's just a footnote in a much bigger legacy. Your thoughts? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Daniel Dubois isn't staying silent anymore. Addressing the swirling controversy around his illness that derailed his original bout with Joseph Parker, Dubois wasted no time setting the record straight. When asked about the timing of his sickness and the speculation linking it to a potential Usyk fight, Dubois stood firm, denying any suggestion that his illness was a convenient excuse. He made it clear. His focus was always on Parker, and his goal was simple: knock him out. Dubois wasn't rattled by the noise surrounding his health. In fact, he shut it down completely.
Still though, I want to run it back. If they can get that fight on, that's what I want. That's what the fight I want next. It's unfinished business, and it's left a bit of taste in my mouth. And yeah.
Pointing to official medical documentation from the British Boxing Board of Control as undeniable proof. According to Dubois, there was no fabrication, no cover-up, just a fighter facing a real health setback. Now, he's determined to let his actions speak louder than words, and he's ready to make a statement. This time, Dubois is coming into the ring unapologetically focused and more dangerous than ever. His message is crystal clear: He's not just here to win. He's here to end Parker's run. That hunger in his voice, it's real. And it doesn't stop with Parker. Dubois has his eyes set on the top of the heavyweight mountain. He's gunning for the elite, names like Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. These are the fights he craves. These are the legends he wants to stand toe-to-toe with. For Dubois, this isn't just about redemption, it's about domination. He's not chasing popularity, he's chasing...
We are hearing rumours that you're all in talks. What will happen to Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker in the next 4 or 5 months, in your view?
Well, I think they're going to be involved in some massive fights.
But with who?
With opponents.
I know you're not good. Listen, on Thursday, you said by the evening you'd tell us who Moses Talma was going to fight. Can you tell us now?
He will be on the card.
And which card?
On the Manchester card.
On April the 5th.
Legacy. And that unfinished business with Parker? It still stings. Dubois isn't backing down. He's demanding the rematch. He wants to settle the score once and for all. And this time, he's ready to prove he's not just back. He's better. Daniel Dubois believes he belongs with the best, and now he's out to prove it. With the pressure mounting, Dubois is stepping into the spotlight, determined to show the world he's the man to beat. But the big question looms. Will he rise to the occasion, or will his hunger for dominance lead to his downfall? In a fiery exchange with Gareth A. Davies, promoter Frank Warren didn't hold back, offering a rare glimpse into the high-stakes world of heavyweight boxing. Speculation is swirling, with whispers growing louder about both Dubois and Joseph Parker being lined up for major showdowns. Yet Warren kept...
And Joseph Parker right now is on one of the hottest runs. I mean, if Dubois doesn't fight Usyk, I'd like to see Dubois fight Parker as well, because I think Joe deserves a shot at the world heavyweight title. But obviously if there's a big unification fight, undisputed, then Joe's going to need another dance partner, and maybe it's a Joshua rematch.
Things cryptic, fueling even more intrigue. What's certain is that both fighters are on the edge of career-defining moments, and the uncertainty surrounding their next opponents is only raising the stakes. The heavyweight landscape is shifting rapidly. Every move, every matchup, and every decision made now could reshape the division's future. Warren did confirm that heavyweight prospect Moses Talma will appear on the April 5th Manchester card, but beyond that, he remained tight-lipped, keeping fans guessing. The secrecy surrounding these matchups is only adding fuel to the fire. Who will be next in line for war? Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn just added to the chaos, dropping a bombshell. Joseph Parker is red-hot right now, and if Alexander Usyk isn't available, Parker could be next in line for a world...
favourite now, or not marginal favourite now? Parker may start slight favourite. On recent form, you have to go with Joseph Parker. And I believe that if that fight does happen with Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk, the WBO title then becomes vacated. Joseph Parker's a WBO interim champion, and so we could see he could get elevated to WBO champion. Anthony Joshua, that's his route back into the
title shot. Riding a huge wave of momentum, Parker is more than deserving of another crack at the top. But if the long-awaited Usyk unification fight happens, Parker may have to take on another top contender in the meantime. And here's where it gets interesting. Could that man be Anthony Joshua? The possibility of a Parker versus Joshua rematch has fans buzzing and could send shockwaves through the entire division. Hearn's comments have thrust Parker back into the spotlight, forcing everyone to reevaluate where he truly stands. One thing is clear, Parker isn't just back, he's a serious threat. Another contender is rising, and Joseph Parker is hungrier than ever. With the heavyweight division evolving at a rapid pace, the burning question remains. Will Parker get his long-overdue shot at gold, or will the division...
I think they made the right decision. Live to fight another day. Because if Daniel went in there against Joseph Parker, 60% fit, then after the fight said, you know what, I was ill, people would be like, you're making excuses. So look, ultimately, the right thing happened. But I think the way in which Daniel and his team have gone about it in terms of telling the public, I think they've done it wrong. Because again, you just adding fuel to the fire. You really are adding fuel to the fire.
And pass him by. Time is ticking, and everything could change in an instant. Parker's recent form has caught fire, and he's now seen by many as the man to beat. In fact, if a rematch with Daniel Dubois is made, most experts believe Parker would start as the slight favorite. His performances in the ring have shown a rejuvenated, sharper version of the former champion, and confidence in his ability is surging. On TalkSport's boxing channel, the debate is heating up between Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davies. Spencer argues that Parker's current momentum gives him the edge over Dubois. Gareth, however, introduces a bigger picture scenario. If Dubois faces Oleksandr Usyk for the WBO title and pulls off the upset, that would leave the WBO belt vacant. Since Parker holds the interim WBO title, he could then be elevated to full champion status.
I think if you were to give Dubois the choice, considering that Usyk's for an undisputed, AJ's probably more money, I think he wants the Parker fight. I think he's so pissed off with the narrative that's kind of come out of him not fighting. He's like, fuck that, I want to fight Parker. I want the Parker fight. And really and truly, that is the fight that should happen, isn't it?
Shift would be monumental for Parker's career, placing him directly back at the top and opening the door for blockbuster fights. One potential opponent looms large, Anthony Joshua. With AJ's path uncertain, a Parker versus Joshua showdown could be the perfect route back to the title scene for both men. Meanwhile, sports analyst Aid Oladipo hasn't shied away from addressing the controversy surrounding Dubois pulling out of the Parker fight. While Oladipo agrees it was the right decision if Dubois wasn't fully fit, he still holds him accountable, questioning the timing and the optics of it all. The stakes in the heavyweight division have never been higher. For Joseph Parker, the moment of truth is coming fast, and if he seizes it, the division could be changed forever. Entering the ring at just 60% would have been a disaster, and Daniel Dubois knew it. With so much at stake, pushing through an illness could have led to devastating consequences. But here's the real issue. While pulling out may have been the right decision physically, Dubois and his team mishandled the situation entirely. Rather than quietly dealing with the setback, they went public with his illness, handing critics all the ammunition they needed. It was a textbook case of fueling the fire instead of containing it. The backlash was swift, and the damage to Dubois' reputation was real. Now, the question is whether that damage can be undone or if it will linger long enough to derail his comeback before it even begins. The pressure is intense. Dubois now faces the massive challenge of rebuilding both his career and his credibility while the storm of public scrutiny continues to rage. Will he rise above it all, or crumble under the weight of his own missteps? Here's the twist. According to Aid Oladipo, Dubois' focus couldn't be clearer. If given the choice, Dubois would choose a fight with Joseph Parker over a blockbuster with Anthony Joshua, or even a historic shot at Oleksandr Usyk for the undisputed crown. Why? Because this isn't about belts or money. It's personal. Dubois is furious with the way the narrative around his withdrawal has played out. He feels underestimated, ridiculed, and written off. That frustration has turned into fuel, and Parker is now the target of that fire. According to Oladipo, Dubois is laser-focused on one thing: redemption. He wants to settle the score and silence the doubters by beating Parker in the ring. But here's the real question. Will that burning desire lead him to glory, or will his obsession with revenge be his undoing? This one is personal, and it's going to be explosive. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.